Yo, Laurent, how you feeling, bro? How you feeling, fam?
Being blessed.
Talk to me nice, bro.
I'm
Talk to me
blessed.
nice.
I'm blessed. Yeah, and you talk to me when you guys win a trophy. God
Talk to
damn
me
it.
nice, bro.
God damn it.
Talk to me nice. Yo, seriously though, tell me, Laurent, where was your PK merchant? Did he dodge the Emirates?
No, I think he was ruled out due to injury actually.
Oh, really? What injury?
Yeah, a
The
knock.
Emirates fever? He couldn't come to the Emirates?
No, some from a knock, something like that. But you'd
Oh,
have to ask Mariska
knock.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
oh. Mm, mm.
Yeah, but what's this fever you talk about though? This
Mm.
Emirates fever.
He had a muscular injury. Oh, the Emirates fever? Oh, he just
Yeah.
doesn't perform at the Emirates. He's a burr.
Ah.
I just want you to appreciate for all the viewers on YouTube. I'm wearing a blue Gunners shirt. CJ is rocking the red, but I just want to make sure Laurent understands. Even though sometimes our apparel is blue, London will forever be red. Just don't forget that, bro. Don't forget that. CJ rocking the Nike Arsenal shirt. Laurent, don't forget that. London is red, my friend.
I mean, I know our side of London has some trophies coming up, you know? So
The
you
Conference League?
yeah, the Conference League.
Wait, hold on. So what happens? Hold on. I'm glad that we recorded this. So what happens? Because I'm gonna take you know a snip of that. What happens when you guys get to the finals and you guys lose to Real Betis and Anthony is the one who scores the winner? What? How are you gonna feel? Talk to me. Let me know what your thoughts would be.
Yeah, that's yeah, you're being speculative here, man. Like you've already predicted who's gonna make it to the finals on the other side. Like,
I mean, I was the
oh,
one. I was also right about Liverpool losing to Newcastle when both of you said that Liverpool was gonna win.
yeah, but that's a different type of calculation, right? Like, there's how many games left? I mean, anyone can pick. That's a right, a flip of a coin, right? Anyone can pick who's gonna lose, who's gonna win once they're there. But to say that Real Betis is gonna be in the final, come on, you don't know that.
Okay.
You don't know
Well, I'm gonna go by the preface of my bald knowledge and say that Real Betis, the real only competition is Fiorentina, and I think they're gonna beat Fiorentina because Anthony has been on an absolute howler in 7 games at Real Betis. He has 2 goals, 2 assists, and that's more contributions that he's had when he was at Manchester United.
that.
So, and I'm confident that Chelsea is gonna have a walk park, like they're gonna walk the park and fucking just you know get to the finals. So what would you do? What would you do? I want your thoughts. What would you do? Because clearly both Arsenal and Chelsea lack creativity, but one of us was able to get the victory tonight or earlier today.
Hmm. Yeah, Kona FC.
Kona
Kona.
Kona.
Uh, I mean, a win is a win. You know, I gotta give you that. But damn, man, that's like I'm just trying to think. Where was the other shot on target? You said the volley.
Mikel Merino.
Yeah, but
There was a handball shout for a penalty from Marco Correa when
come
he
on,
stood
really?
on the
You're
ball.
gonna bring that in like as part of the
There
stats?
was
Like,
a there was a
bro,
red call. There was a red call shout from Wesley Fofana stomping on Declan Rice.
he didn't stomp on him. By the
He
way,
landed on his calf. If it was the other way around, it would have been a red card.
you don't know that. You don't know that.
Well, the calls that Arsenal's been getting against
Yeah,
them,
you see, it's this,
100% that would
and
have
that's
been
the
a red
thing.
card.
That's the thing with Arsenal in the club, right? You guys feel like you're victims every day of the week. You don't know that.
But hold on, how is it?
Sometimes you guys do get calls in your favor, right? But it's almost like you guys kind of like turn a blind eye to that. It's football. At the end of the day, refs are not robots, right? The refs they're human.
Fair
They're
enough.
gonna make mistakes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But how is it? How is it excuses when there's like there's actual statistics out there to show, when Opta calculates the VAR mistakes that have been against Arsenal, Liverpool, and like the top teams, or every team in the Premier League, you see the point difference and the gap would be a lot closer. Like, I'm just talking facts. I'm not the emotional side of it. Of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. Of course, I want every single call to go for Arsenal, but it's not realistic. But there's certain calls that I know if it was the other way around, he didn't even get a yellow card. He didn't even get a yellow. At the end of the day, even if you're landing after you make a tackle, you also have to be aware of where your limbs are. That's just basic, like you have to know where your limbs are. So to not even get a yellow card, I think that's that's going a little too far. He should have at least got a yellow because he whether you want to say he stepped, he stomped, whatever, he landed on Declan Wright's calf with the full foot with the cleats down, with the studs showing. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'd give it a yellow at most.
Maybe it wasn't a red because I agree with you. Maybe it wasn't malicious intent, but we have seen lesser calls, a la the Miles Lewis Skelly red card, be called a red. No, but straight up, we've seen softer yellows like Pedro Neto coming after. Remember the yellow card that he got for dissent
Mm-hmm.
in the second half when I think he got hit tackled down by Jurriën Timber.
Mm-hmm.
I would have actually given that a foul for Neto.
Wait, so what are you saying? That there's a campaign against Arsenal
No, I'm not saying
from
there's a
the
campaign
refs?
against. I'm not saying there's a campaign against Arsenal. I'm just saying these type of calls you would never see in the Champions League.
No, so then at least go from the point that the refs are just making bad calls, right? But it's not necessarily that they're making bad calls against Arsenal, because that's what I feel like you're trying to say.
But this year, I would say there's been more bad calls against Arsenal than for Arsenal. Yes, I would say that. Similarly to, I believe it was last year, or no, was it beginning of this year with Gary? What was the Wolves coach, Gary O'Neill? Was it Gary O'Neill? Am I saying that right?
What season? Last season?
Was it last season or this year season when he came out in the press conference and said, there's an unconscious bias that referees are going to give a call for Manchester City versus Wolves, and he got a huge fine for saying that. I think it was last
Mm.
season, right?
Might have been, yeah, because I think last season was the season that Wolves really got hard done by
Yeah,
with all the calls, the shit
yeah.
calls.
Like, of course, there's going to be an unconscious bias when quote unquote there's a bigger team facing a lesser team, and I think Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Manchester City, even Manchester United, Liverpool will get those 50-50 calls for them, not more often than not. But I also do think this year specifically, Arsenal have had some really, really bad calls go against them. A lot of the red cards, I would say they're not not all like Saliba's red card was a red card, but like the Declan Rice one, the Trossard one, like if you look back at last year, the Kovacic one, for example, like his excuse was he didn't want to ruin the game, you know. But anyways, I don't want to go down on that road. I just want to keep coming back to what was your so yeah, how do you feel, bro? I just want to do like a quick check on you
I
before we start the
I
pod.
feel amazing,
You feel amazing.
amazing, knowing that our season still has the possibility to garner something fruitful, you know, and that's
I
what
mean,
it's about, right?
I mean, we're both in the same quarterfinals of cup tie, so technically speaking, I'm also doing amazing because our
Yeah,
season
yeah.
came
Who you
down
guys
to
facing?
something.
Who you
Facing
guys facing?
Real, we're facing a real team, Real Madrid, a
Huh?
team that has some pedigree.
Okay, okay. And what would you say your chances of winning that?
50-50, straight up.
Oh,
Straight up.
all
Straight up. Why is
right.
that
Now
funny?
let me ask CJ. 50-50? Yeah, you agree with that?
Nah, no, I don't
Okay.
agree.
Mind you, right? 50. You're saying 50-50 after the performance you guys put up today
Yes.
against us. We have a shaky keeper, Badia Shield, right? I think that guy should not play in the fence ever again under that Chelsea shirt. No disrespect. Who else was in the back?
Wesley Fofana,
Wesley Fofana to
Levi
me, he's like,
Koval.
yeah, but you see what I'm saying? It's like that's not the kind of defense you're going to be facing against Real Madrid, right? The kind of yeah, the kind of players. And this was what you guys one off a set piece. There's like legit one opportunity that you guys were able to produce, and that was it. So I'm having a hard time seeing how, where you're gaining this whole 50-50. Where's this coming from?
Because Atletico Madrid was able to score off of one opportunity and they were able to hold them and get them
You
to
guys are not you
no,
you
but
guys are
no,
not.
you're asking me where my confidence is coming from.
Hmm.
Real Madrid's defense is not any of our concern. Our concern is from midfield forward. Their defense is nothing compared to what their offense is. Yeah, I get your point, sure. Like it wasn't the greatest performance, but we've shown in Champions League that we can be a force.
Versus PSV. Come on, man.
What do you mean versus just PSV? We beat PSG. Like in the Inter Milan game, the only game that we lost, it was off of like a stupid call.
Hey, man. You know who else showed that they could be a force in
Who?
the Champions League? Liverpool. And they
Yeah,
ended
but
up
they choked
losing.
when it mattered. They
They ended
choked
up
when it mattered.
and that team, right? They can score. They have the ability to break down teams, right? So that's why all I'm saying is, right? I think you're getting a bit too much ahead of yourself there, right? Especially.
Here,
Mhm.
let me destroy your argument in like in a swift motion. Liverpool with a world class front line with zero injuries wasn't able to break down PSG over two legs. Arsenal with a makeup front three was able to break down, albeit PSV, they were able to break them down and not just score one or two goals. They scored seven on the trot. So,
Yeah, you
and if you
can't make
go,
this stuff up.
what do you mean?
And then what happened the game after that?
They
You know what?
choked. They choked. They went to Old Trafford, and we said it in the pod. We all wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United do a job.
So, so my point is that it's not reliable, bro. Like this is not a reliable performance. It's not a reliable structure. You, if you had to, bet something based on whether or not they can produce that kind of result again, it's like most likely it's not a bet worth taking because they've shown, right. It's almost like an outlier. What happened there was pretty much a statistical outlier. That 7-1, an
Yeah,
outlier.
but I'm not asking for them to. You don't need to win 7-1 against Real Madrid. You need to get literally one chance, put the ball in the back of the net, and I play the dark arts. That's what Atletico Madrid did. And to your like, I think we're better at Atletico Madrid doing what we did. We've shown over the last 2, 3 seasons. We did it at Manchester City. We almost got away with it if it wasn't for Michael Oliver ruining the game and giving Trossard a red card. We would have come out winning. We
Mm.
did it a year back when it was a 0-0. So we've done it. We've shown that we can do it. Do I think it's going to be a cakewalk? No. But I give Arsenal a 50-50 chance. If we lose the first leg, if we draw the first leg, yeah, that 50-50 goes down to 70% Madrid, 30% Arsenal.
Well, at that point, all I can say is good luck to you, good sir. Um, right? Fortune. What is it? What's the saying? The fortune favors the bold, or something like that, right? So, yeah, no. Godspeed. Hopefully, I think what Saka is going to be back for the second leg is what they're saying.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I think to my other point though is if the players are depending on that, I don't think anything good is going to come out of that.
I agree.
Uh, Personally, right? It's a guy coming off, right, what was considered a pretty serious
He
injury.
tore his hamstring off the bone. That's not a.
Yeah.
He's not gonna hit the ground running. That's what people are expecting. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna maybe have like 20, 30 minutes in tops. He's not gonna be able to play a full game.
Hmm.
Right? The game against Madrid, the first leg is April 8th. So we have one game, if I'm not mistaken, maybe two games. We have two games before that. We have Fulham at home, and then we have Everton away. So maybe he can get a couple minutes at the Fulham game, a couple minutes at the Everton game to get his legs under him. But um, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he gets a start in the first leg.
Mm.
That'd be stupid. If I'm Mikel Arteta, that'd be the dumbest thing that he could do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Anyways, on that bombshell, well, welcome back. listeners, viewers, as CJ played our anthem, our national anthem, our second national anthem, Corna FC. Um, as always, co-hosts CJ, the coach, fresh cut, lined up for this pod. He knew this is gonna be fire. This is gonna be the annihilation of the other co-host. He still hasn't rocked a Chelsea jersey. Still hasn't rocked his Liverpool jersey. Laurent just out here,
You.
just
He's getting closer though. His mug is blue, so he's getting closer to repping his club.
Yeah. Good observation. Good observation, Coach.
Yeah. We want you to get there slowly but surely.
Oh, look. Well, we're gonna slowly start a GoFundMe page for Laurent. We'll collect his tears after this loss and put it in a GoFundMe page to get him a proper jersey. But let's start. Let's start with the big game of the weekend. Well, second big game because the other one was a cup tie, but the big Premier League game of the weekend. Arsenal 1-0 to the Arsenal, as always. 1-0. Kona FC, Mikel Merino. It looked like a flick on, to be honest with you, but Robert Sanchez couldn't handle it. We scored. We had another chance at a volley. Martinelli crossing a back post, and Mikel Merino got a sweet connection on it, but Sanchez with an unreal save. To be honest with you, I got to give it to him. That was a really, really good save. Was there a penalty shot with Cucurella touching the ball with his hand in the box? Was there a red card shout with Wesley Fofana, standing, stomping on Declan Rice's calf? There was no sight of Cole Palmer. Apparently, he had a muscular injury prior to the game. But CJ, before we get to Mr. Chelsea, what's your take on that game? How did you feel coming out of it?
Yeah, my take on the game: good win. 1-0 to the Arsenal. We like that. For those who are like myself, part of the back line, play in defense. Center backs union, defenders union, goalkeepers union. We keep clean sheets. That makes us just as happy as scoring a goal sometimes. And our former manager, one of the legends of the club, George Graham, was at the Emirates today. So he would have enjoyed that. 1-0 to the Arsenal under George Graham. That was a famous scoreline. So yeah, man, honestly, it's the Arsenal blueprint at the moment is keeping clean sheets, scoring minimal goals. Keeping it tight at the back and winning off of, getting your chance and taking it. Funny enough, this was an old blueprint under a previous ex-Chelsea manager, Mr. Jose Mourinho. So, just keeping it tight at the back, just nicking goals, nicking wins off of a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and keeping it tight at the back. And yeah, so, a few of us could have been proud of that today. For me, it's as proud as can be under the circumstances. Obviously, I've lost the super, I guess, excitement and investment in the Premier League because of where we're at and how far off the top of the table we are at the moment. But, we need these wins for momentum, as me and Laurent and Merdad have touched on in the past. It's one thing for us as fans to, be lacking in motivation to get up for the Premier League games, but the players have to show, that level of performance still. They can't down tools. They can't act like they're on the beach already. They still got to perform. Especially because whether we have a chance of actually winning it or not, we're still in the Champions League, and the players need to have momentum and good performances going into the Champions League games against Real Madrid. So, yeah, overall, it's good that our makeshift striker scored the goal today too. That'll give him some confidence. But other than that, as I said to you guys in the group chat, overall pretty dull game after that. Arsenal started out flying, but after that, the game leveled out. Chelsea, credit to them, they got back into the game in the second half of the first half. But just both teams lacked that real quality in the final third, I noticed. And that's both teams lacking a striker, a number 9. That was both teams lacking what we would say is our best players in Bukayo Saka for Arsenal and Cole Palmer for Chelsea, at least on the creative side of things. And other than that, the game just fizzled out until 1-0 to the Arsenal, and we'll take that. Not one to watch back on the highlights by any means, but you'll take it and run with it. I had a couple comments on the referees and refereeing decisions, and at this point, you just become numb to it because referees are what they are in this league. But there's a couple, questionable things, like how Fofana only got booked late in the second half is beyond me when he had 3, 4 questionable like fouls earlier that deserved yellow cards. I mean, the one on Declan Rice, bro, I've listened to you guys both talk about that one offline and then briefly here online now for the last little bit. Like, there's no question that, it's not, he didn't, stomp on him aggressively, whatever. But, bro, the referee called the foul. To me, that's almost the same thing as what Declan Rice did in terms of kicking the ball away when he got the red card or the second yellow earlier in the season against Brighton. It's the same thing in the sense that, the referee blew the whistle. So Fofana, get out of the area, get back into shape, get back into position. He called the foul. Why are you still trying to win the ball off of Declan Rice? Like, that's some S&M shit. The man was trying to put his foot up Declan Rice's bum. Like, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here and get back into shape. Like, what the hell? I don't know how he didn't get booked for that. And the VAR, that was the quickest review I've ever seen. And again, conspiracy theories, whether you believe in them or not, if that was an Arsenal and it was an Arsenal player, you damn sure that they might have reviewed that 10 extra seconds longer, 2 minutes longer, 3 minutes longer. Like, why was that review so quick? I want to know. Like, the man is doing some sketch shit. He's putting his stud in the man's fucking bum. Like, get out of here. Anyways, didn't cost us. We won the game. Robert Sanchez is absolute trash. And if this was, me breaking down a Chelsea team and Chelsea performance, if Chelsea want to get anywhere, they can't have that guy in goal. That's for sure. He's been poor. I've seen him numerous times now, and I don't rate the guy. So how we only got one past him is something else in itself. He made a good save in the second half on Marino, to be fair, but yeah, other than that, yeah, the game just fizzled out into a 1-0 to the Arsenal. So we'll take it and run.
Totally agree. All right, Mr. Chelsea, give us your breakdown of how you saw the game that we watched.
Well, I mean, not much to disagree with what CJ said. From a Chelsea standpoint, that game was quite disappointing on all fronts, from the top all the way back to the keeper. We looked slow, almost unprepared, if I'm being honest. The ball movement was terrible. No creativity, no critical passes, right? To get one over or get one over the line, right? When a player's out of position, something like that, right? And I guess maybe the players weren't just making those runs, right? To allow for that guy to see it and make the pass. Neto up top to me did not look good at all. I know, Mer, that right.
Yeah, I think
Yours.
I might be a little bit biased. Sorry, Lon, but yeah, I think he did all right for what he had to work with. But again, this is your take, so yeah.
Right. No, but I mean, at the end of the day, right, that's not his position, right?
Mhm.
He is a winger. So I mean, you can't expect too much, right? In regards to naturally being able to be in the right positions all the time, right? Knowing when to make those runs. And other than that, the one thing I did notice is I don't think he's strong enough to play in that
Mm.
position at times, right? Because he gets bodied off the ball a little too easily, for my liking. Funny enough, to me, the only player that truly came out and played for us was Cucuela. Yeah, and it's like I told you, right? That guy is, I think he deserves that position, right? And there's a reason why he starts. But all in all, um, who's there? Martinelli?
Yep.
Yeah. I think he contained Martinelli well, um, in my opinion. There's not much danger, right, that came from that side, especially when he was there. So yeah, and then when you look back, keeper, Badiashile, my gosh, man, like the amounts of times my heart sinks every time that ball goes back to our keeper. It's like,
And
and
to
I'm just
think that
thinking,
Chelsea got rid of Mark Gahey, like, sorry, I just had to put that out there. Like some of the some of the center backs that Chelsea have had that have that they've gone rid of, like longer gone the days of like John Terry, you know, Ivanovic. I believe he was a right back. Like, long are those days gone. Like that's the Chelsea defense that I grew up with, not this nonsense.
Mm. Yeah, no. Um, and it's sad to watch, if I'm being honest, right? Given the fact that we started off the season rather decent, and then we picked up form through the midway. We were second at some point, right? And now, I think we've completely dropped off, in terms of standard. Um, but for me, I think for me the blame goes to the coach,
Mm.
for the most part, because I feel like whatever, system he's trying to devise or trying to get the players to implement it, it's just not working. It is not working, and to the point where if this is how we play, next year, I can't see it going too well for us. And this is even if we did have like those those players, right? Those caliber players. Even if we did find a striker and whatnot, I don't like the system at this point.
Do you think
It's
it's the players not like meeting the system, or do you think it's the coach not getting the best out of his players? Because you guys, like, to be fair, you guys have a like I don't want to say world class team, but you guys have some pretty good players in that team. Like, you're starting a World Cup winner in Enzo Fernandez. Obviously, Cole Palmer was away, but I would consider he's a decent player. I don't know if I would go as far as saying world class, but he's touching that. Pedro Neto, I know Arsenal was linked to him, but we didn't get him because of all the injuries and all the nonsense. Christopher Nkunku, he was lighting it up in the German league before he came. Sancho had a good run of form. You know, Caicedo's done his thing. Marco Correa, like, to me, I think I said in the last spot, whether it was on air or off air, like, he was the best wing back in the Euros, right? Like,
Mhm.
he in my opinion, he showed the entire world what a wing back's supposed to be. As much as I hate him, like, he actually showed what a wing back's supposed to be. You still have Reece James, who I think he did a decent job playing in that six role next to Caicedo, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Right.
Um, but
That I didn't like that the whole.
no, really,
And then because Fernandez was pushed up, right?
yeah, Fernandez
Hmm.
was the 10 role.
And I don't think he belongs there, man.
Mm.
For me personally, in terms of offensive power, Fernandez is just does not bring much when you look at. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't know if you guys watch the games like that, but
He's not like McAllister, because McAllister pops up in some of those areas from
mm,
from the six role sitting next to Gravenberch. But I agree with you. Fernandez isn't.
no,
Fernandez
he's
is a deep
yeah,
lying. He's a deep lying midfielder that
yeah,
like starts the plays. I agree with you on
yeah, and looks to distribute, right,
that.
find
Yeah.
those key passes. Because as far as I'm concerned, right, from what I'm seeing from him, every time he's in that box or he's looking to shoot, right, the finish is not there.
Mm,
Yeah,
fair.
the finish is not there at all. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I think it's funny because I remember, I don't know, I think it was CJ that was talking about it, right? But what good is possession, right? Yeah, we had 60% possession, but you don't do anything with it.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying? The ball just circles around, right? You're not putting a ball, into a dangerous area. Like it's just it's dead football at that point, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, what's the point? And then you're watching this at home, and you're bored out of your mind, right? Because nothing productive is
Hmm.
coming out of holding the ball for so long, right?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, no, I think it's a combination of both. So it's like it's the system as well, and then the players that you have, right? Because some players just don't have that creativity or that that intuition that they can just pick out. There's those deadly passes, right? Or that right where that gap, that window opens up, and you're able to split a defense, right? and that's the pass. That's the pass, and sometimes those passes they come with a risk,
Yep.
right? You see what I'm saying? So where a lot of players they actually see the pass, but some of them don't make it because
They
it's
play
too
the safe
risky.
pass. Yeah, they play the
Exactly,
safe
and they pay,
pass.
and that to me is what I don't like, right? Always playing the safe pass. Well, the safe pass is what the okay, pass it to the guy, right, to the
Hmm.
back, and then you're looking out to go the other way, right? But it's like, no, man,
That's the
it's
Kevin De
not.
Bruyne pass that he always makes, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. That as much as
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say this, the Bruno Fernandez pass, and sometimes you see like Martin Odegaard, especially in the 7-1 victory versus PSV, he was making those
Mm-hmm.
passes. But then our argument always with our Odegaard, I believe it was the last part of the pod before, was sometimes he goes missing. So those are the passes that you're not making. And last couple of games with Cole
Mm-hmm.
Palmer, when he's been in that 10 role before his muscular injury, that's what he's been not doing. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he forces those plays because I also think not having Nicholas Jackson there to hold the ball up has made a huge difference in his game as well. To have someone to
Right.
play off of, right? To kind of play that 1-2 because Jackson can actually hold the ball up. Whereas when you're passing the ball to Neto, Neto likes coming off the ball, right? Making
Right.
those diagonal runs. Whereas Jackson likes his back to goal, will receive the
Mm-hmm.
ball, hold it off, and then let Palmer run in on one of the sides, right?
Right.
So
Right.
um, yeah, I mean, listen, like when you look at the table, Chelsea got lucky. Um, Manchester City drew with Brighton. We'll get to that in a second, but they're still sitting in fourth on 49 points, 1 point ahead of Man City, 2 points ahead of the likes of Newcastle and Brighton, and 4 points ahead of the likes of Fulham and Aston Villa. So they're Champions League football looks like it's going to be real next year. Um,
Man, even when you say that to me, I'm not. It's like, what's the point? You go there with a, and you're gonna play like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, but for PSR purposes, because you guys have spent a lot of money, like
Yeah, I guess like
we have
that's
to
the
think about
only,
that
yeah,
too, right?
that's the only plus. Like that right there is the only plus, right?
Yeah,
And I
but I mean
guess
that's a
like,
huge plus because you've seen some of the point deductions, right?
hmm
So I don't know.
What sorry guys. Laurent, what do you think is like are some of these Chelsea players overrated? Like have we because a lot of people have talked about and really bigged up Chelsea's squad, not just the number of players, but quantity and quality as well. Like a lot of people have said like, oh, look at the forwards Chelsea have. Like I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans say I would take many of these forwards, a Sancho, a Neto, I don't know, Madueke, not Mudryk. No one wants Mudryk, but there's many forwards that you guys have in even midfielders, maybe not so much in defense, but across your team, especially at the top end of the pitch, there's a lot of players that seem appealing to a lot of clubs, because they either went for big fees or, like Murdad said, they played in big tournaments and whatnot. Are some of these players overrated, or are they actually at where they're meant to be? Are they just not performing? Like, what is it? Like, are we overrated a lot of these Chelsea players?
man, that's a good question. Um, yeah, it's a very good question.
Hmm.
If I'm being completely honest, I I don't even think I have the answer. You know, right? I don't think I'd have the answer, but if I were to take my best guess on it, um, there could be some that are, but at the same time, I do think it has a lot to do with the system and the coach.
hmm.
In my opinion, I just like I can't understand why, right? Because it almost seems like it's too rigid for me. Like, right, the way they're set up, right? It's too rigid. It doesn't allow for something spontaneous to happen, right?
Hmm.
Mid game, because that's at the end of the day, right? That's what football is, right? It's not we're not running algorithms here, right? With a bunch of simulations, robots, right? You see what I'm saying? Like trying to optimize, right?
Hmm.
No, you got to allow for that flair, right? That
So
panache.
there's not a lot of freedom of expression. You're saying
In
in the
my
Chelsea
opinion,
team.
in my opinion, no, I don't see it.
Mhm.
Um, mind you, right? We have talked about this where football now is at a stage where that freedom of expression
Yeah.
overall doesn't seem to be a thing that is required anymore, right? Where it's all systems, it's all right. You do this, you do that, right? And you have a set, right? parameter to operate in, and right, that's what the players are nowadays, right? Um, where yeah, like I remember CJ, you talked about like guys like Ronaldinho, right? These were the last guys
Yeah.
that you see what I'm saying? Where when I think about it, right? Imagine if you had a guy like Ronaldinho on both sides, right? Or maybe okay, we put Ronaldinho on Chelsea, and then we put who's another guy that had flair. And then you
Like
put him on
Robinho,
Robinho. There you
Zidane,
go. You put him
all
on
these guys. Yeah.
there you go, and you put him on Arsenal, right? Do you guys really think we would have watched the same game?
No.
You see what I'm saying? At some point, yeah, you follow right what the coach says, right? But then those players, it's like they realize, yo, this is not working. You see what I'm saying? Or they would start to see things that would just allow for their creativity to shine and to allow to break down the defense, right? Or um, and you know and create those chances,
Yeah,
right?
you don't even need to go that
Yeah,
far back. Look at like what Eden Hazard did on Chelsea. Look at
thank you.
what
Yeah, even guys
Alexis
like
Sanchez did
Yeah.
on Arsenal, right? Like
exactly,
there was some rigidity
exactly,
to it, but there were moments in the game where, Sanchez
exactly.
would pick up the ball and he was just like, get out of my way. Same thing with
Right.
Hazard. He would, those were the times where I was scared to face a Chelsea team because at
Hmm.
any moment Hazard would pick up the ball at the halfway point, beat two men,
Right.
and put the ball top corner. And it
Right.
was
Right.
completely against the grain of play. He would just go against
Hmm.
everything, but he would do that. So yeah,
Exactly.
I
But
do
that
have.
right there
Oh, sorry.
is what's sorry. But that right there, I think, is what was one missing from this game.
On both
Overall,
sides, I would say.
on both sides, yes, on both sides. And but come on, like the players on that pitch, you really think they're not capable of right? I I feel like at some point too, what it is that as the player, if you're told by a coach, hey, you can only play a certain way, you play the race, right? It becomes ingrained, right, into your psyche to the point where even if maybe you have the technical ability to pull those moves off, it's now you're just it's almost like it's been taken out of your program. You see what I'm trying to say?
Well,
Because
that's
it's been
that's
drilled.
that's what our argument was, myself and you.
Hmm.
I think we did it off air, where I said, I think Saka could score as many goals as Mohamed Salah, but I don't think the defensive work rate is there for Salah compared to Saka, right? Even our
Hmm.
wingers, right? Like maybe Luis Diaz, but I think in the system that Arsenal have, our wingers do so much defensive work that I don't think it's ever feasible for them to be more than maybe 10 plus goals, just
Hmm.
goals. Like assists, yeah, I think they can pop up with 10 plus assists, but goal wise, like I don't think so ever
Hmm.
in the system that we have, and in your system similarly, right? Um, but my counter to you, to add on to CJ's, my second question to you would be, do you think that Pochettino would have got more out of this team
Ooh.
than Enzo Maresca? Because as an outsider, I know he was the Spurs coach, but what he did with Spurs and the players that he had access to, I don't like personally. I don't think he was giving them the right amount of time.
I
Um,
agree, 100%. Yeah.
but I want your take because I don't think, like, listen, I'm gonna put my hand up right now and say I am an Arteta truther because when he initially came, I would have never thought he would get us to this point where we are actually competing for titles. Yes, I understand the wages, I understand the money he spent, but he came and he needed to like completely overhaul the team. Yes, he's been given the time, but I would have never thought I would see this incremental progression. Have we bottled the Prem 2 times in a row? Yes. All those things aside, as a first time coach, I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that this would have happened. But I don't think Maresca has the same tick. And when you had, I don't want to call Pochettino world class, but you had such a great coach in Pochettino. I don't think he was given the time. But I want your take because you watch more Chelsea games than I do. But what do you think? Do you think Pochettino would have gotten more out of this team?
And that's the reason why I say it's a very good question because I know both coaches do employ different tactics, um, di- different systems. Funny enough, under Maresca, things did start to look good, right? I mean, I guess it's natural because right we were used to seeing what it was before he came in, and then now you have a new guy. He's right. It's almost like a breath of fresh air, right? Until it no longer is.
Hmm.
Um, and then with Pot, um, I thought like I like Pot. If I'm being honest, right? I thought I think he had the 4-2-3-1. That's what
Correct.
he was using
Yeah.
with us. And I mean, under him, I do feel like some of our players did have a bit more freedom in comparison to how the system is under Maresca. So given that, I do want to say I think given time, Pochettino would have been able to get a bit more.
Hmm.
One
And
because of his experience compared to Maresca. I think that would have been a key factor.
yeah, like he
Yeah.
got to a Champions League final
Yeah.
with that Spurs team.
Hmm.
Well, like I don't know about you, CJ, but when they were in the finals, I was like praying, praying that they didn't win.
Hmm.
Like I was whatever voodoo magic I could have done. I googling how to do voodoo magic on Harry Kane and Son, and like I was praying. So
Merdad, it's funny you say that actually, and I'm gonna ask you this one more question before we switch gears. Um, just in terms of the coaching, when I mix both what you and Laurent are saying, when it comes to like the systems nowadays, the system that Poch employed, the system that Reska employed, Laurent, it's almost like you're preaching to the choir when you say, the system is too rigid. Like those words specifically have been intertwined with me and how Arteta plays. Merdad, you're smiling because you know where I'm going with this. That's what us Arsenal fans like ongoing debate about a rigid system. Like I've heard words like that used with Arteta for the last couple of years now. Like, is the system too
mhm.
rigid? Do the players have enough freedom of expression? Are they just allowed to do what they need to do on the pitch, or are they just being kind of robotically put into the system? So, Murda, my question to you is, in terms of today and our performance, um, Arsenal games are becoming pretty predictable at the moment, aren't they? Like,
Oh,
especially now without our key forward players, the Havertz and the Sakas and Jesus and so on. How do you like? Do you see this being a blueprint? Like, if you were to watch today's game, you didn't watch it, but you were to predict, somebody asked you how the game went, you could have predicted that this is how the game would have gone, right? Under these circumstances, yes, we don't have
oh
our
yeah,
forwards.
100%.
We were solid at the
Yeah.
back, and we nicked the game off of a corner kick. So my question to you is, and this goes back to the banter between you and Laurent, like why we could have a chance. It sounds crazy to say, but why we could have a chance against Real Madrid is because we could play like this. And in tournament football, anything is possible. Where you're so solid, you're so structured defensively, like Atletico was, you can nick a goal or nick the game off of a 1-0, off of a corner kick, off of a PK, off of a set piece. It doesn't sound pretty on paper, it may not be pretty football, but that's how you can get through a Real Madrid. Or that's how you can kind of progress in tournament football. So ultimately, Merdad, my question to you is like, is this predictable? Is this what we expect to see from Arsenal going forward? Is this what we can expect to see from Arsenal in the Champions League
Oh,
based on
100%.
today's game?
100%. This is exactly going to be the blueprint, maybe a little bit more safe. I think the one side of things that we still haven't seen is how Ben White's going to come into it, because I think if we want to be defensively strong, if Ben White gets his legs underneath him, I can see us deploying um, a back four of White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, because I think Timber is a little bit more safe on that left side, especially if we're going to be playing against Rodrigo. As much as I love Miles Lewis Skelly and Ricardo Calafiori, I don't think they're ready for that caliber of. We haven't faced that caliber of forward. Yes, Mohamed Salah, but like there's different levels, and Rodrigo is like that pace that he has, and he's younger than Salah. Yeah, I think that's going to be it, and I think you're going to see Miles Lewis Skelly potentially pop up, you know, left wing maybe, or like you start
You
playing
think so,
him
eh?
in midfield. Yeah, I would trust him all the way up there. I wouldn't trust them like I don't want to see Trussard if he's doing poorly. Like I don't want to see Sterling. I'd rather play Lewis Skelly up there. If we need a difference maker coming off the bench, and we have Martinelli, Saka, and Yeri playing already, you know, if you're gonna take off Thomas Partey and play Rice at the 6, I would love to see Lewis Skelly at the 8. I don't want to see Sterling.
Mm.
Come on, I really don't want to see Jorginho because he's got no pace against the Real Madrid side. Where if they get on a counter, right? But yeah, I think that's going to be the blueprint moving forward. Even when Saka comes back, everyone's saying, "Oh, he's going to be back second leg. He's going to score at Bernabeu." Like, let's be real. He tore his hamstring off the bone. If you don't know what that looks like, go on Google, type tearing hamstring off bone. Look at the image of anatomy. Not if people don't know anatomy that well. He tore the muscle off the bone. He's not gonna have his leg underneath him. We'll be lucky if he's back for the Fulham game and the Everton game, giving 15, 20 minutes. He's not gonna be able to be a huge difference maker. You know, if we're gonna beat Madrid, it's gonna be us being corner FC, getting through to the next round, and hoping for the best. Because I think um, we don't have that creativity right now until the rest of the season. We don't have it.
Sir, can I chime in on this?
Yeah. What do you mean? Can I? Yeah, of course, bro.
Okay, so no, that was a good question. Definitely, it's a good question. An even better answer. Now, if you guys, I think if you guys definitely want to beat Real Madrid, I think that that system, whatever you're referring to, right, as the rigidity, it has to loosen. You see what I'm saying? Because it's, I think it's going to take a moment of magic, right, as they say.
Mhm.
And those moments come from, right, where it's the chaos, right? It's not the predictable patterns of play, right? It's someone deciding, right, during that specific time, that specific play, to take matters into their own hand, right? To create something. So if I'm the coach, I would willingly express that to my players that, hey, yeah, we are coming in, we're playing with the system, right? It's the formation, right? This is how your movement's gonna be. But if you see it, express yourself. Because I think, right,
Yeah.
like at that level, I think every player they have those technical abilities, right? That, even to create something or to do something, right? To beat a player one on one. And the moment you don't allow your players to do that, I think that's when it goes out of your favor, right? So if you guys are
Correct.
relying on, getting the set piece, I mean, what are the chances of that, right, happening? We know you guys can, right? But is it going to be within the next two games that you're going to play with Real Madrid that you're going to get that set piece, right? So for me, I think you guys are going to have to take on more risk to look to get that reward, right? And that's going to come from, like I was telling Murray that earlier, right? Um, it's taking those risky passes,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're in your opponent's third, right? You're not looking to circle it back. That's the obvious choice, right? That's where when you had like guy Uzo, Mesut Uzo,
Mm-hmm.
you see what I'm saying? Like mind you, okay, that's his natural ability, right? To pick out those passes. But it's like
But it's
it's a pa-
Odegaard's
it,
ability too, though. Odegaard's
yes,
just not doing it.
and that's the funny part. You have a
Yeah.
player like that on your team, right?
Yeah.
You have a player who can do that. And that's what I'm saying, right? It's like it's gonna take that, in my opinion, if you want to beat a Real Madrid, right, over two games, because everything else is predictable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything else, the guys are gonna be on defensively. They're gonna be in formation, right? They're gonna know where if you're gonna think, okay, we're gonna make that pass to the side, they're gonna see it, and the guy's just gonna recover, right, and be in defensive position. So it's not gonna work. So yeah, no, that's what I think is going to need to happen, right?
I
For
mean,
that.
we got a couple more games before we get to that point, so we'll have a full
Mm.
Mm.
breakdown and we'll kind of come
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
this. Um, but let's get into the rest of the Premier League games because we have Carabao Cup final to chat about. Everton, West Ham. Wow, Everton left it extra late. I believe it was like 97th minute. They came back and they drew 1-1. Everton's like slowly under David Moyes, they're doing well. They maybe not be winning every single game, but they're making it tough for their opponents. Kind of makes me scared to go away against them because they've had our number. They drew us 0-0 at the Emirates earlier this season. We have them coming up in 2 games. Forest, man, I feel
Ba,
so
ba,
bad.
ba.
Yeah, Forest. I think they're locked in for Champions League, but man, I feel bad for Ipswich. Forest beat them 4-2. Anthony Alanga. How stupid does Manchester United feel right now? Anthony Alanga, 2 goals. Um, you know, they decided to pay Anthony. They decided to play Xerxes, Hoyland, and they had something from their academy in Anthony Alanga. Maybe it comes back to the PSR rules and stuff, but Anthony Alanga has just been tearing it up for Forest ever since he went. Um, Manchester City, like they
Hmm.
they
What's
they're
going on with them, man?
yeah, like
Crazy.
one of I listened to the post match press conference, and one of the I forgot what the exact question was. So for those of you who really want to hear it, go on Haters TV and listen to Pep's press conference. But it was something along the lines of like, "Oh, Pep, are you worried about this?" He's like, "No, I'm not worried because I'm a magician. I always work magic." And they're like, to me, it's like, dude, you just spent $200 million and you're battling for top four. You just spent $200 million. I get it. Arsenal didn't spend any money, and I know we're like 13 points or whatever away from the title, but we're fighting for that. We're fighting in the Champions League. Like, you just spent 200 mil. If Arsenal had spent 200 mil, I'd be confident in saying that the points gap wouldn't be 13. You know, but they drew 2-2. Um, the only big comment I have on this is in January, Arsenal were linked with Mohamed Marmoush, and all the reporting that came out is Marmoush isn't available. Marmoush isn't available. Next thing you know, he's signing for City. And I don't know if you fellas saw his goal outside the box,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
banger,
Clean strike.
and he also caused the penalty. Like, come on, man. Like CJ, we always talk about this, man. Like, I've actually been pretty good this pod. I haven't sworn that much, but no fucking ambition, man. No fucking ambition. Like, come
Another
on.
one bites the dust. Another one gone. Slipped through the cracks.
Like, how many of these
Crazy.
fucking players have you been linked to? Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, Strand Larson, Strand fucking Larson. Um, Again, the Wolves they survived without Cunha. They beat Southampton 2-1. Um, there was a lot of question when Mateus Cunha got that red card for the 3 game stretch that was coming up. Wolves were kind of worried that they were going to get really into the relegation battle, but they almost looked like they secured and staying in the Prem for another year. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Ramsdale, even though he's getting relegated, he actually got called up for the England squad. So good on
Yeah,
you,
good for him.
Rammers. He's been
Yeah.
he's been he's been the only bright side on that team, man. Some of the saves, some of the like he's top class. Um, Brentford, wow, wow, wow. Brentford stunned, in my opinion. They stunned Bournemouth 2-1.
Mm.
Um,
It's a
and they're
big blow for Bournemouth.
a huge blow because now Brentford's only 3 points behind them. So
Yeah.
the top four, the European battle now just got a little bit bigger, and Wissa and Norgard helped Brentford win. And Janelt was the only one that like only Brentford scored because it was an own goal by Janelt, and no Norgard and Wissa scored. And again, another player, and Bummel, another assist for Wissa. Like why are we struggling to pry away players from the likes of Brentford? All due respect to Brentford, I'm not trying to take a shot at you, but we're talking about Arsenal. Like, what? How are we struggling to get Mbamo to come? Um, Spurs being Spursy. I don't know, CJ. You got any Spurs fans? They're just so Spursy, man. They lose after coming back in the Europa League. 2-0 to Fulham, and Fulham's no slouch. Fulham is no slouch, but like, come on, Spurs. Um,
Yeah, we don't have much airtime for them, man. It's
no,
funny to see like how things have progressed over the last few years. Like their golden generation is, them getting into the top four over Arsenal and getting to a Champions League final. Albeit they didn't win, obviously, thank God. But in that golden generation period of Kane and Son and whatnot, you know, 0 trophies still, you know, and the most they can say is that they finished over Arsenal for a consecutive amount of years. But look, you know, since that time we've already bypassed them. So yeah, it's just kind of revert back to type, and now Spurs are irrelevant in our minds.
Yeah.
You know, we just got to make sure we don't fall into that pattern of, you know, this is our golden generation and we come out of it with no trophies. You know, we can't have
Yeah.
that. So, but
Do
in terms of
you
Spurs, yeah, man, they're now an afterthought. But yeah, sorry, continue.
do you think Ange gets sacked if they don't progress into the next round of the Europa, or do you think they're gonna stick with him to the end of the year?
Oh, if they don't progress in the next round of Europa, they have Frankfurt, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's a tough draw for them. It's not like, you know, they
That's a
got
very
somebody.
tough job, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not like they got somebody weak, you know, where they're almost expected to progress. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think he gets sacked if they lose that tie because yeah, that can go, you know, that can go either way. Frankfurt is no slouch, so I don't think he gets sacked if they lose that. If they get blown away, maybe, but no, I think and maybe he'll last the season, and then, you know, Levy may look to change in the summer if things don't go well. But yeah, we'll see.
Fair enough. Manchester United, again. I mean, albeit they showed up against lonely Leicester and their ex striker Ruud van Nistelrooy. They won 2-0. Um, I mean, listen,
Wasn't it three? Was it
was
three or
that three? Oh,
two?
sorry, my apologies. 3-0. 3-0. I didn't catch that last goal. I mean, listen, they're doing their thing. They gave Arsenal a tough fight. Bruno Fernandez again. You know, like I hate his guts, but like this is where I want Odegaard to do. This is what he was doing last year, popping up from the midfield and scoring goals. He hasn't done that this year. Um, you know, what else can you say? United, they're slowly getting themselves prepared for a long European fight, and now Laurent. Again, I want to just do a quick check on you before I come to the next game. Are you okay?
Always okay, bro. Always. Always in top form.
So there's
Tough week.
already top form. I mean, we've spoken about this before, right? There's levels. There's levels to coaching. There's levels to the stature of a club. There's levels to the players. There's all these levels that we always talk about. There's always, I always make remarks about penalty FC and corner FC, lucky FC, but Liverpool.
Tough week for Laurent, eh? But you're both your teams taking some L's.
Arne Slot before the game against Southampton said, "We have 3 cup games this coming week. Southampton, PSG, and Newcastle. Southampton, they struggled to get past, but they won it. Arne Slot had to come from the stands and say something like he said he had to fire them up, and they came back and won. But again, it's Southampton, who only has 9 points on the year. They won the first cup draw. They were in 3. They were in line for trouble because they had Carabao Cup, Champions League, and Prem. Come to Tuesday, they face PSG, completely dismantled by PSG, knocked out of the Champions League. Then they were there for the double. Then they come to Newcastle at Wembley Stadium, a Newcastle team that has not won for 56 years. Let me say that again. A Newcastle team that has not won a major trophy in 56 years, missing arguably one of their best players, next Alexander Isak on the year, and Anthony Gordon. And albeit, I will say, Liverpool were missing Trent, ankle injury, but I don't think anyone's concerned about that because he has no defensive work rate. I would say Connor Bradley's better, but wow, what a difference does Alexander Isak make? The last game at Anfield, there's no Isak. Liverpool completely destroyed Newcastle, but wow. So I'll leave it to you, fellas. What did you make of that game? Because I watched the entire game from beginning to end, and Geordie Nation, congratulations. What say you, Laurent? What say you, the Liverpool local?
Liverpool local. That's a new one. But man, that like I don't even know how to put that into words. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I am absolutely livid. Like at present time, I'd be furious, man. Furious in the space of a few days, right? We were practically down to just one potential trophy.
Yeah, just the Prem.
Yeah. And what's even worse is well, my team didn't play right to a certain standard in both those games.
Listeners, just wanna rewind that tape a little bit. Laurent was quoted saying, "My team with
No, so sorry.
Liverpool." No, 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 no! It's on tape, bro.
No, it is.
CJ, it came
I'm.
out.
I'm
CJ.
not. I'm
Even
not.
I missed that. Damn.
I'm not denying it's not on tape, but I think you've missed what I said prior to that, right? I opened up if I was a Liverpool fan, right? So that's right. I'm speaking in that
Mm.
sense. Yeah. Nice try though. Nice try.
Quick, CJ, he's very quick with it, huh? If you listeners and viewers didn't know, Laurent's a lawyer. He works out of the Mpiana law firm. If you need all your legal advice, go to him. But anyway, sorry, Laurent. I just want to let just you know.
This guy. But yeah, no. So, one, I think we got to talk about Mo Salah because that to me like it's who I'm it's who I'm looking towards, right? For both results, it's truly who I'm looking towards. Like, what did you do?
Are you saying the PSG game as well?
PSG game as
Results?
well.
Okay.
PSG, yep. What did you do? You're the star man of the team, right? And it's like, what good is what's his goal and assist contribution in the league?
I think
It's like almost like
37.
40 something, right?
I
30?
think
Yeah, it's
37.
outrageous.
I think 37 from. I'll fact check that.
All right.
About him.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, what good is that if when it comes down to the big games, you see what I'm saying? You're not producing much, if anything.
Can I say something?
Yeah, yeah,
I've been
go.
wanting to interject. I've been wanting to interject on
CJ,
this
just
all
just
day.
before you pop in,
Yes,
he has
yes.
27 goals and 17 assists on the year. Sorry, in the Prem.
Okay.
Okay. I've been wanting to interject on this all day, and this is where things get spicy on the pod. Okay. So, Laurent, but actually, before that, the three of us sat here and talked about how, what do we say? We sat here and talked about how they were in line to win a treble, and now they're down to just the Murdat. Stop smiling. Listen. All mans, be serious. Be serious.
Okay.
For those watching on Spotify, we have to check ourselves real quick for a serious interjection. Okay. So we're saying they were in line for a trouble at the beginning of this week. Cool, whatever. Now we're down to just the Prem. Okay. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the season, I think both sets of fans from the Liverpool side, from the Arsenal side, said if you were to give me just one trophy this season, it's the Premier League, we'd all take it. By the way, so Liverpool fans listening or neutral fans listening, especially from an Arsenal perspective, we have no right to sit here and knock Liverpool what they're about to go on and do this season. They're going to win the Premier League. If you told me that was the only trophy I could win this season after 21 years of not winning the Premier League, I would sell my soul for that. Okay, so let's just get that out there first. This is Liverpool have still had a great season. And so to follow up on what I'm saying now is we're knocking Mo Salah for a second, okay? Laurent, you're saying when it matters, okay? He's shown up when it. I'm pretty sure Liverpool fans, Salah himself, players would prefer to win the Prem over the Carabao Cup. At the end of the day, this is a cup actually that a club like Newcastle should celebrate till the cows come home because Newcastle is, with all due respect, not as big of a club as Liverpool. They haven't won a trophy in 50 something years. Liverpool and their fans will be bothered by this loss, but I mean, I'd argue probably that they might be just as pissed off about exiting the Champions League than they are about losing this cup final. And also, they'll probably slowly get over it in a couple of weeks when they realize that they're going to be lifting again the holy grail of the Premier League crown. Right? That's the one that really bothers me as an Arsenal fan. And so, yes, where's Mo Salah been all season? Where's Mo Salah been today in the cup final? Where was he in the Champions League? But let's not forget, he's the reason why they are going to win the Premier League this season. So not that everyone gets not that superstar players will get an excuse, especially because you don't show up in a cup final. It does kind of diminish your stature as a one of the GOATs or a Ballon d'Or winner. If you don't show up in a cup final, yeah, I get it for sure. But let's not act like Mo Salah hasn't done bits this season. Like he has in a more important competition in the Premier League, in most people's probably opinion, actually. He's about to go and lift the Premier League season. I would give my Sakas, my Odegaards, a pass if they didn't show up in the EFL Cup final and we lost it, but it means we still win the Premier League. Okay, so let's put some respect on Salah's name. I will say that. And secondly, most importantly, this is the exclamation point, right? Laurent, Mo Salah has, again, this will back up Murdad's point. Murdad has said Salah FC all season, right? When you're saying, oh no, but it's the coach, it's the team, it's the system, the coach has put everything in place. So we're not going to give Mo Salah the credit when he has carried this team likely, again, to Murdad's point, Salah FC and that. He's carried Liverpool to where they are today. And it almost kind of backs up Murdad's point and my point and some Arsenal fans' points to some extent that when Salah doesn't show up, the team doesn't show up. Salah hasn't shown up in the Champions League in the last couple of games, and he hasn't shown up in the Cup final. And what happened? Liverpool don't get the result. So are we not giving Salah enough credit here? Salah is, let's be real, forget Arne Slot. Salah is the reason why Liverpool is at where they're at today in the Premier League because of the stupid numbers he's been putting up and the stupid level of consistency and performance in the Prem. So when Liverpool's at where they're at now, we're not giving Salah that credit. We're giving Arne Slot credit. But when Liverpool get knocked out of the Champions League and now lose the EFL Cup final, we're blaming Salah, but we're not blaming Arne Slot, the great Arne Slot, Mr. Arne Slot. Mr. Laurent, what do you have to say for yourself as to why we're only putting this blame on Salah, but we're not giving Arne Slot any heat, this great coach who got them where they're at in the Premier League? But if they lose in the Champions League and in the EFL Cup, it's not Slot's fault, it's Salah's fault. I need to hear your explanation on this.
Just to add to CJ's, Laurent, one quick second, I would even argue by saying that Salah has carried Liverpool over the last couple of years when Klopp was there as well. Like when they won the Premier League, when they won the Champions League. Salah is the reason why they've done all these things. He was the star. Like, yes, Firmino was there. Yes, Mane was there. Jordan Henderson, they had that back line. But, like, when you needed a goal, it was Mohamed Salah. When you needed some creativity that we were talking about against the Chelsea-Arsenal game, it always came from Salah. So, sorry, I just wanted to add that in there. Because I think Salah, I don't want to disrespect him at all. Like, I would take him in a heartbeat on Arsenal.
All right. So, no, it's a good question. Some very strong points. And despite all of that, I'm still stand on what I said and look towards the star player. I'm not excusing the manager, right, in any shape or form. Whether or not, right, he didn't get the setup right, the tactics, whatever, right? But at the end of the day, right, going back to what we talk about, right, the creativity, the players that despite the system are able to, grab games by the neck, right? That's what I'm referring to here. And again, I'm not saying that as if, well, he contributed to those. When you look at the numbers, both games, can you really say that Mo Salah showed up?
No, he didn't. No.
Yeah, but I mean, what if that goal went in against PSG when Nuno Mendes came out of nowhere and blocked it? It was an empty net.
No, yeah, I seen that, but it's like, and I think, like, I understand what you're saying, right? It's a what if, yeah, it's one chance, but it's like a player of that stature, I think, in my opinion, for games like that, it's like there's no excuse. It's like when you were the star man of any team, you see what I'm saying? You take on a specific responsibility, unsaid, right? Almost like this unsaid contract, right? That you are willing to carry, right, or to do what is necessary to carry that team over to the next side, right? To get the result. And as a player of that stature, it's like you have no other excuse. Like there's nowhere else for you to run, right? Because who else? If I ask you, then, well, who else on that team, right? Well, you can then argue, well, it's a team game, right? Everyone has to contribute, show up, blah blah blah, right? But we all know, let's be real, right? In the real world, there are some players that are just better than their counterparts, right? Mm-hmm. And that have the star power, right? Which is funny when you say that, but Messi was getting a lot of shit over the years. for bringing or Argentina goes to X round, right, in a tournament, and suddenly they lose. Who are they
That's
looking
why he
to?
retired. That's why
Yeah,
he
yeah,
emotionally retired for a year.
yeah, yeah. So who are they looking towards, right? The coach? No. Maybe they could, yeah, they could be. But at the end of the day, it's like everyone's counting on Messi because you're the guy. So in Liverpool, Mo Salah is definitely the guy, right? We're not gonna fucking say Nunes, like no, you know what I mean? Like
Nunez. Good shit.
so, and what's even worse to me is the fact that it's almost like he was non-existent,
Mm.
right? You can understand maybe okay,
Yeah.
he put up some stats here and there, but to ghost like that, I think like you definitely have some answering to do, right? And mind you, Premier League, right? That's big accomplishment, right? Not taking anything away from that, but I bet you, if I were to ask any Liverpool fan, would you exchange, right, some goals of Mo Salah's in the
Oh,
league
yes.
to have him perform in those 2 games this week?
Yes.
For sure, of course,
A
yeah,
hundred percent,
And to your
a
point,
hundred percent.
of course.
CJ, this is what I was gonna kind of just play devil's advocate for you is when we had that PSG game, right? You and I, we were all sitting on the pod, and you and I both said we're like, and I think we said this off air. We said we wouldn't be shocked if Arsenal like blow it against Manchester United. And I think in the pod we also said like we don't care if this game means nothing because Liverpool won the league. It's about the game. You're facing Manchester United. Like you just have to show up, right?
Mm.
I will say the Liverpool players did show up against the PSG game because it was like an unreal game. It was back and forth. There was like exciting moments, but the Newcastle game, the way that they lost, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I would accept losing. But they really only turned up after when it was 2-0.
Hmm.
Like I watched the entire game. Like they didn't show up. And I think the manner in which that they lost is what if I was a Liverpool fan, what I would be more pissed about. Not the
Yeah,
fact that they lost, right? Like it is what it is. Like you can't go into every game thinking that you're gonna win, even though I like to think as an Arsenal fan, every single game that we go in, we have to win, right? Maybe the only game that I don't think like that is maybe coming up with against Real Madrid or Liverpool. But if we lose, I want to make sure that I can back my team to be like, that was a fucking sick performance. The PSG game, I will say, it was a sick performance. But like, even though they beat Southampton, that wasn't convincing. And the way that they lost against Newcastle, I think that's what would bother me if I was a fan more than Salah not showing up. I think that, like, yes, we all look at the star player, but it's also like as a collective, they just didn't show up. They didn't. They looked like they were still thinking about the PSG game.
and see, this is my point as well, is that, and by the way, Laurent, I just want to caveat that by saying neutral fans, Liverpool fans, or just neutral, yeah, football fans who are watching the game have every right to pick on Salah because, like you said, the superstar player is the one that will get all the heat in the media and so on and so forth. So, Laurent, I'm kind of just being a little shit and kind of
Mm.
picking on you to pick your brain about Arne Slot because,
Mm.
you give him a lot of credit for where Liverpool's at in the league. I just wanted to see if you were going to give him a little bit of heat and have that same energy for when they lose the final and also get knocked out of the Champions League. It's also got to be sort of on the coach as well. So I was just kind of being a little shit in that sense. But I do believe it. I do believe that Arne Slot should take some heat. And Murda, to your point, is that the team didn't show up. So when the whole team doesn't show up, you have to look at accountability, right? Management, leadership. Slot, what happened? Why the team did not show up? Why did the whole team look like they were just in a walk in the park? Like, did they forget that it was a cup final today? Like, what was said or not said in the dressing room to get them motivated, to get them fired up for this game? Mind you, big men, professional athletes, footballers should not have to get motivation from a coach to go out for a cup final. But still, leadership, everybody needs that bit of leadership, that bit of, something to get them going. And for the whole team not to perform, I think that starts from somewhere, like what happened? What happened? Why the team didn't come out and show more what they've been showing all season in the Premier League?
Mm-hmm.
Their midfield got destroyed. McAllister, this is probably one of the worst games I've seen from McAllister. Shabazlai was non-existent. They just got overrun in midfield. Gravenberch couldn't do anything. And again, on the coaching side of things, I said this to you guys in the group chat, and this drives me crazy because not just Slot and their coaching staff, but I see many professional clubs, including Arsenal, do it. I saw a lot under Arsene Wenger. Is zonal marking or mismatch marking on corner kicks. It happened on 2 or 3 or 4 occasions where McAllister is marking 6'7" Dan Burn on a corner kick. I don't understand that tactic. I hate it so much. It's like match basketball, right? Matchups. Virgil van Dijk or Konate, you're my biggest guys. You mark their biggest guy. Isn't this not logic and common sense? And it pisses me off so much because I see coaches do it all the time, not just Slot and whatever. I see all coaches in big clubs.
We had Odegaard guarding Van Dijk, remember? No.
I see it all the time.
Van Dijk. It was who was it? It was recent when Odegaard was guarding the biggest guy, and you messaged me on our group chat. You're like, why is Odegaard guarding him?
Like, what do these coaches do and see that we're not seeing? It just didn't make it happen. They were given warning signs. Dan Burn was winning those corner kicks on 2 or 3 occasions. And then the 4th time or 5th time, it finally works out for them right before halftime. And I'm thinking, well, duh, that was always going to happen. Like, who couldn't see this? Who couldn't figure this out amongst the coaching staff with their 6 iPads and their like whatever whiteboards that they've got? Like, bro, it just bothers me so much. If I'm there, I'd be losing my mind. I would. It's just it doesn't make any sense.
They're playing Candy Crush on the iPads, eh?
Bro, they need Nicholas Jover. They need Nicholas Jover.
Like, bro, shambles.
Yeah, that's
shambles.
crazy.
But one quick question before we move on from this. So I believe it was Opta, or I forgot where I saw it, but Rafinha is the favorite for the Ballon d'Or right now. After these 2 performances, what are you guys' thoughts on the Ballon d'Or? Do you think Salah still is in like striking distance, or do you think that after these 2 performances, he kind of closed that door for himself? Because mind you, Rafinha is still in the Champions League. They have a very good chance of going all the way, and Salah has the Prem.
Well, yeah, I think he's definitely going to be a candidate just because they have to fill up numbers for candidate spots and things like that. But he's not winning at this point, I don't think. Like, the Premier League, is that just enough? Like, no, we've seen Henry put up the same kind of numbers when he was in the Prem, but he just won the Premier League, I think, when 2003, 2004, and then even the 2003 season when we actually didn't win it, we came second to Man U, but his numbers were still stupid. Like, the Premier League alone, unfortunately, isn't enough to get won the Ballon d'Or, especially when you have, as we say, UEFA Lona, and all that nonsense. The UEFA and the referees and the powers that be, Barcelona, Real Madrid, those clubs have them in their back pocket. So like, you have to perform in Europe, unfortunately, outside of England, to be really nominated for these big trophies, and that includes international tournaments as well. That includes, like Champions League and things like that. So unfortunately now, Rafinha probably put himself higher in the pecking order to go all the way. And I will say this just quickly. It's unfortunate that, of course, again, we're all knocking Salah because, he didn't show up in 2 back-to-back big games in a week. But I think just not only from Salah's perspective, but from Liverpool's perspective in general, like, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm even so much more pissed off at them because, of course, this is the game or the week that they choose not to fucking show up. Like, as an Arsenal fan, I'm thinking, like, bro, where were these performances, like, against Newcastle in the Premier League when you beat them? I guess, they didn't have Isak at the time, but, just a couple of the slip-ups they could have had in the Premier League. I haven't seen them perform this bad all season. Even when they lost in midweek to PSG, they weren't that bad. This was a horrible performance today that I haven't seen from them all season. And it's like, where were these in the Prem? But they might not be bothered because they're going to go on to win the Premier League now. And I'm still sitting here in my fucking second place and having to wait to go again next season. And then I said this to you guys in the group chat as well, is like, this just goes to show, because again, I used words like fraud and whatnot earlier in the group chat because I was angry, because I was pissed, because I expected Liverpool to show up the way they have done all season, right? They're not a fraud of a team, but it's like, they've been found out this week. They're not as good as everyone thinks. Laurent and I've been trying to tell you all season. They're not this. We've seen many Premier League winning teams of the past. I wouldn't put them amongst United's treble-winning team, Arsenal's Invincibles, Chelsea's teams under Jose Mourinho, Man City's trebles. Like, I don't put this Liverpool team that's about to win the league amongst the best title-winning teams in the Premier League era. They are just the best of a mediocre bunch in the Premier League this season. Let's be honest. Everybody else has fallen way off the cracks, including Arsenal, including City. And Liverpool has been the most consistent of an underperforming lot, in my opinion. But they do not rank anywhere near some of the best Premier League sides in history, in my opinion. Sorry.
No, I was just saying they're like Leicester. That year that Leicester won it.
That
It
one's a little
wasn't.
bit harsh, but yeah.
But straight up, that Leicester team had a high performing front three. They had Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy, who were on fire. I think everyone forgets they were on fire, and they had the midfield where N'Golo Kante was like lights out. Nothing could get past them, and they had the back four to hold it down. And everyone forgets they had the keeper. Obviously, I'm not gonna disrespect Allison, but Schmeichel did a job that year, right? People
Mhm.
want to take a shot at that team. Sure, they weren't in the Champions League and whatnot, but like that front three was wild. That Leicester team was wild. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but like that Leicester team that year, like they were the best of the bunch. But I don't know. It's a tough week for Liverpool fans, and um, yeah, again,
I went off. Sorry, Merdad. I
go
went
ahead.
off on a tangent when I was going there. So let's get. I want to get Laurent's take too on the Salah for Ballon d'Or thing and what you think about that.
Uh, yeah, no, I think I agree as well. You'd have to compete and perform, right, in competitions outside of your domestic league. And those two performances, in my opinion, well, especially I think the Champions League one, those were, I think, or will be a critical deciding factor, right, in whether or not he ends up obtaining or not obtaining I'd say in not obtaining the Ballon d'Or. Simply because, right, like the other guy, right, Rafinha is performing on all fronts. I don't think his numbers are as high as Salah's though, right? If I'm
I think they're up there actually. I'll check right now.
Domestically, yeah.
Yeah, domestically this year he has 13 goals, 8 assists. Champions League he has 11 goals, 5 assists. Yeah,
Oh, he only has 13 in the league.
has 13 and 8. Yeah,
13 and 8, so
Interesting.
that's 21. That's
yes,
21 in the league, right?
21 in the league, and he has 16 in Champions League.
16 Champions League. Wait,
That's
what's
quite high in the Champions League. That's crazy.
Salah has Champions League 3 goals, 4 assists. Prem 27 goals, 17 assists.
because I think Salah's ahead by a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Salah's
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, but
Not by a bit. He's ahead by a lot.
yeah, but I think at that point, right, it's beyond just the stats. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
you're looking at. So yeah, no, I think whatever his chances was prior to, right, have gone down after this week. And what was the second question, or if there was there a second
Not
question?
on my end. No, no,
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
think so.
Oh,
no, no
okay,
second.
okay.
Just quickly, like I know my comment was kind of like you know comparing them to the Leicester team. Some of the key notables of that Leicester team that won: Casper Schmeichel, Ben Chilwell, Christian Fuchs, uh, Daniel Marte, Danny Drinkwater, Mark Albright and N'Golo Conte, Jeffrey Schlopp, Damari Gray, Riyad Mahrez, Jamie Vardy, Andre Kramaric. That was no slouch of a team, and Claudio Ranieri was the coach. So, but again, I think you're right, DJ. It may be a little bit too harsh, but um, the way that team was just winning, just constantly winning, this Liverpool team has been ruthless. So, um, but switching gears quickly to the upcoming international break, Thomas Tuchel um, made his first announcement of the England team. Um, some notable snubs, some injured stars. Their first game is against Albania March 21st, and second game against Latvia. The England first team consists of Dean Henderson from Palace, Jordan Pickford from Everton, Aaron Ramsdale, love that he's there from Southampton, and James Trafford from Burnley in the Championship. Defenders Dan Burn, Levi Colwell, Mark Guehi, Reece James, Ezri Konsa. Big boy Miles Lewis Skelly getting the big old
Bop,
call
bop,
up.
bop, 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 bop.
Tino Livermento, Joel Kwanzaa, Kyle Walker. Midfielders Jude Bellingham, Abriche Eze. Can't believe I'm saying this name. Jordan Henderson, Curtis Jones, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, Morgan Rogers. I love that Rogers is there. He deserves it.
Mm.
Forwards, Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford. Again, love that he's there. I think he's been unreal for Aston Villa, and Dominic Solanke. Um, any player that stands out there for you guys that shouldn't be there?
Wait, did you say Harry Kane or no?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay.
Harry Kane's there. Any names for you guys that shouldn't be there?
I mean, if you're gonna have Henderson, shit, and you're not Conor Gallagher, that to me is
Yeah. It's funny. My first name for notable snubs. Connor Gallagher, Morgan Gibbs White, Liam Delap, Ollie Watkins, Jared Brathwaite, Archie Gray, Callum Hudson-Odoi.
And I think what's more interesting is I swear Conor Gallagher was performing under Tuchel at Chelsea.
Connor Gallagher was the only reason Chelsea was doing good. Even when Tuchel got sacked, when Pochettino came in, when
Right.
Lampard came in as a caretaker, Connor Gallagher is Chelsea through and through. So, to me, if you're gonna put Jordan Henderson there, like when I'm looking at that midfield, if you're gonna put Jordan Henderson there, Connor Gallagher should have gotten a shout. And it comes back to what some of the coaches have said from previously, and some of the out medias say that if you're not playing in England, they won't take you. Obviously,
Yeah.
England's captain Harry
Oh.
Kane plays
Is
in
that-
Germany. They always take him, but like Connor Gallagher, like there's like who was it? Who was AC Milan's
Tomori,
yes,
center back from Chelsea.
Picori Tomori. I don't know if I said his first name wrong, but Tomori, he was balling out last year in AC Milan. They didn't take him.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're not playing in England.
Yeah, they were saying the caliber of and for those of you who can't see me on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll know I'm making quotations, air quotations. They're saying the caliber wasn't up there, but again, Conor Gallagher, he's the reason why Atletico Madrid made Real Madrid sweat. He scored in 27 seconds, right? That defensive work rate, that offensive work rate, the pressing, like Gallagher is a huge sub, and even like don't get it twisted. Morgan Gibbs White and Callum Hudson-Odoi, they're the reason why Forest are going to be in the Champions League next year, right? So again, I said I love that I see Marcus Rashford there, but to be honest with you, when you're looking at the sample size, Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi have been doing it the entire season, whereas Rashford's been doing it over the past 3-4 weeks. I don't know, and like even listen, man, I love that Lewis Skelly is there, but like Archie Gray, I don't want to give Spurs any clout, but Archie Gray playing out of position at his age, holding it down next to Dragushin and fucking Jed Spence, like I don't know. What do you guys think of the Tuchel's England first team?
Honestly, the more you say it, the more we've been talking about Gallagher and what he's managed to do in that Atletico team this year, the more I think like it's actually crazy that he's selected Henderson over him. Like we just finished talking about guys, not playing in England is one thing, but performing in another domestic league is another thing. Like Henderson, not only is he not playing in the Premier League anymore, but he's also playing, again, respectfully, in the Dutch league for Ajax, who's I think top of the league over there. But again, we're weighing level of competition. Gallagher's playing in the Champions League against Real Madrid. He's in a title race in La Liga with Atletico versus Real Madrid and Barcelona. And the guy's still playing and performing at the highest level. And Tuchel had this guy at Chelsea. So yeah, it shocks me, to be honest with you. It shocks me, that one. I'm obviously very happy with the Lewis Skelly selection. I think he deserves it. England don't have many great left backs anyways. So yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for him, and I think one that he'll rise to and he'll take. So yeah, man, shout out to him. But otherwise, the selection seems, yeah, of course, there's some notable absentees in attack, like Hudson-Odoi, I think, over Rashford is a little bit harsh. But yeah, I think overall, I'm not too surprised.
even Ollie Watkins. Like to be honest with you,
Mm.
like
I
even
think he's injured. I heard he's carrying an injury.
or even Liam Delap for Ipswich. Like he's been doing good. Like again, it's to me it's like the sample size. I understand Rashford can he if I'm talking about who the better player is, it's Rashford. But if I'm talking about who's been performing all year who deserves a call up, I think it's Liam Delap. And like
Mm.
um even Reece James, like even Reece James being there, to be honest with you, over like Jared Branthwaite, Archie Gray, to me that's a huge slap in the face. Like, and again, I'm not saying this because he's a Chelsea player. I'm just saying the fact that he's been so injury prone, and he just came back. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Um, but listen,
They
man,
picked four goalkeepers, eh?
yeah,
Wow. What the hell's the
James
point of
Trafford,
that?
Burnley, like that's I that I appreciate from Tuchel. The fact that he took a championship goalie, you would have never seen Southgate do something like that. Um, the
I'm happy he went with I'm happy he went with that with Ramsdale too over Nick Pope. I don't rate
yeah,
Nick Pope.
no, no.
Yeah.
The notable injured stars that didn't make the team: Bukayo Saka, Kobe Mainu, Lewis Hall, who opened the door for Miles Lewis-Skelly, Noni Madueke, who, in my opinion, has been one of the bright stars of this Chelsea team this year. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold, John Stones, and Luke Shaw, who appears to be living in the hospital for the last however years he's been playing. I mean, two on paper, two easy games against Albania and Latvia. But I'm curious to see the lineup, the way that he's going to be using his players, and you know, um, yeah.
Wait, so those injured stars, like they're not selected.
No, no, they're
Like,
not selected.
so even like when they come back from injury, there's no chance.
No, no, no. There's a chance. This is his first team. This is his first team.
Oh, okay.
But like, no, if they come back, like if they're ready to play, let's just say next week, no, they can't be selected for this round of qualifiers.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Laurent, do you rate Madueke as a Chelsea fan?
I think he needs to show greater consistency
Mm.
and better decision making. I think that's where he lacks the most is his decision making.
Mm.
Yeah, that to me, that final pass, sometimes it's just yeah, it's not on point. Um, in terms of him beating his man, he has a few bags of trickery, I'd say. But me, I'm more a fan of like the Iron Robins, man. Like, you know what I right? Like, or even like who's like like some guys that bring like because I feel like with Madueke, I think sometimes he's just too linear.
fair.
I don't know if you see
Yep.
what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Yeah, where as a winger, I don't see how any winger would want to even be linear, right? Like right, like if I'm looking at guys like without like all the showboating, like guys like Charisma, even Ronaldo back in his days, right? Where it's not linear. You see what I mean? You can't read
Nani,
that.
Nani was
Yeah,
in there.
Nani
Manchester
as well.
United,
Yeah, guys like that.
Riyad
Uh,
Mahrez,
hmm Yeah, yeah. So right? He can cut it back, right? He can go
Prime
there.
Sterling.
Um, funny you bring that up.
Wow.
No, but
But
it's true. No, but it's true. What like he was when he was at Chelsea when like um Mane. One other question I have for you guys: how is Phil Foden selected? He's been having a terrible year. How is he selected over Gibbs White or Hudson Odoi or even Conor Gallagher? Do you
that's a
think
good
it's
question.
because of do you think it's because of the name factor?
Yeah, simply he's there based on he's got to be there based on merit at this point. Funny enough, though, even for England, he hasn't really performed too tough.
Nope. Yeah.
Uh,
But do we expect anything aside from England winning both of their World Cup qualifiers against Albania and Latvia?
with England, you never know, man. Shit, like Honestly,
Oh fuck.
honestly.
Oh man. Um. Well, we got the international break coming up, listeners and viewers. We're only gonna have one pod coming up next week. Um, Big thing that we're gonna really talk about for the next pod is, I think we teased it a couple podcasts ago. Is one player that we all three think, um, including Laurent, what we all think that would impact the Arsenal team, and it's got to be a realistic signing, right? We're gonna break down the fee that would take, where they would play, um, and we might do it. We might do a little bit of a sneak peek on how we all fell in love with the sport and our clubs. Just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a background into us. I know you guys have gotten to know us over the last 8 podcasts, this being the ninth. Um, but I think it's important for you guys to understand how we fell in love with the sport, how we fell in love with our clubs, and why we're so passionate. We love bantering each other about nonsense. And there's two of us here that love their teams and they bleed their teams through and through. And then there's one of us who, depending on which way the wind blows, one way goes to the city ground at Forest, another way it blows up to Anfield, and then the other way comes back down to London where Stamford Bridge is. So um, that tornado wind is all
That's
over the
quality.
place.
That's quality.
Oh fuck, man! This is not a sponsor, and hashtag not a sponsor, but this Coke is amazing. It's Coca Cola, you know. Cannot complain about that sugar. But fellas, final words. Final words for the international break. CJ, Mr. Fresh Cut CJ. If you guys haven't seen the Fresh Cut, go on the fucking YouTube. This man's ready. This man was ready for this pod. He knew. He knew it was just gonna be, you know, digging the grave of Laurent Piana.
Hmm. Yeah, man. International break. I'm taking off for a little break myself. Arsenal stressed me out enough this season, so I need my own little refresh and take a break. Funny enough, boys, I specifically like selected my vacation time for the international break period. Like I looked at the schedule, I said, all right, when is like, the international break? Take a little trip during that time, and then yeah, I'll be back by the time the club football returns. So not to worry, listeners and viewers. We'll be back for a fresh pod to start. The club season. Sorry, the I guess the business end of the season once the club football returns. It'll be business end in the Champions League. Obviously, we already know what the end result is going to be of the Premier League winners, but there's still a top four battle to talk about. There's still European football to discuss. There's still title races in other leagues that we're going to be discussing. So yeah, it's going to be some good stuff to look forward to. But yeah, I had to take a little trip during this international break because I can't stand tournament football unless it's like the World Cup or the Euros. But international football generally is nonsense. That Nations League stuff, nonsense. I don't even bother with that shit. So we'll see you guys after, man. Nonsense.
All right, Laurent, take us away. Last thoughts.
Oh man, no, I'm just taking in what I was just like bashing on the Nations League. That's crazy. But
It's like the
no,
Conference League, man. Nonsense. Sorry.
jeez, that is wild.
Same, same level of competition, man. They just
Fuck.
glorified Sunday League trophy. They just wanted to add in for more TV revenue and nuts bullshit, bro.
Oof.
Anyways,
Oof. Yo,
Hey
Laurent, you're
man,
taking a beating today, bro.
as long as we collect a trophy at the end of the season, I'm good.
Oh man.
That's all
Oh,
I'll say.
I'm
That's all I'll
gonna
say.
listen. If
Listen, you
you
guys are
guys,
starving for a trophy.
bro, if you
Let's
guys
just
don't win Conference League, oh my god, oh my lord, I I I would actually tell you not to show up on the pod if you guys don't win Conference League.
no, I'm gonna be here, man. I'm gonna be here. Listen, I don't do that whole,
We'll do that. We'll do that
morning going
pod.
outside, right?
Listen, we'll
Like,
do
nah,
that
I'm gonna
pod
be
in
here,
person. We'll do that pod in person.
bro. We can do it in person. We can do it at
Oh,
Dundas Square, bro. It doesn't matter, bro.
bro.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be here. I'm
Oh,
gonna be here,
anyway,
bro.
sorry,
Like,
sorry,
you know,
sorry, sorry. Oh man.
Who does Chelsea have in the next round of the conference?
Liga Warasa.
This
Yeah,
guy doesn't even know, bro. This guy's not serious, man. That's how you know, like, this guy's not serious.
it's tough. It's a tough team name to pronounce, you know,
Yeah. What country are they from?
bro. Why would I give a fuck about that?
You have to. You gotta
No,
do
no,
your
seriously.
due.
Wait,
So
what,
you're not.
what,
So you're not a
what,
true
what,
fan
what wait,
because you
wait,
don't know why.
wait,
Because
wait,
I
wait,
want to.
wait. Why would I? Wait, wait. Why would I care? Like, think about that. Like,
Why
why
would
would I
you care
care where
what
my
country they're from?
opponents?
Because I want to understand in the domestic league how good are they doing. That's what a true
No,
fan does.
no,
A true
no,
fan
no, no.
dives
Stop,
deeply.
stop, stop,
What do you
stop,
mean? You have to know.
stop.
You
Stop
knew who
whatever it
your
is you're
last
doing.
round was. Who would you guys face
Stop
last round?
whatever it is. Stop whatever it is you're
Bro,
doing, bro.
CJ, this guy talks about me not being a true fan when I don't want to talk
No,
about
this has
conference games. Yo, this guy
nothing to
doesn't
do with
even
it.
know who he's facing next round. I even
The
know who he's
only the only
facing
thing
next
I'm
round.
concerned about, right? The only thing I'm concerned about is who's on my team, right? When the next game is, and that's it. And when that during that time, right, during kickoff, I'm gonna be there and watch. That's
All
all I
right.
need to know.
When the next game is, Laurent, when's the next game against this whoever you're playing? Tell me
Bro,
what day, what time. Fucking guy. See, you're not serious, man.
He's
listen,
googling it right now, fellas.
I'm not. I'm not. Look,
So when's the next
I'm
game?
hands free. I'm hands free. Don't worry about that. Just know I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna
Yo,
be there.
CJ, do you know when the next Arsenal Champions League game is?
Yes, sir. I was going to ask you for taking it off. Sorry, April 8th. Are we taking that off from work?
Bro.
All right.
Of course.
Say less. Hopefully, my employer's not watching this.
Nah, it's all good. Even if they're watching it, bro, just allow it. Just allow it.
April
Wait,
8th,
actually,
man.
it's the
We're
8th. It's
there.
the 8th. I don't need to take it off. I'll just come. I'll just,
Yeah, I love the excitement, eh? Seeing we're there, ready to win, ready
Are
to
you
get
gonna
a
Are you gonna
result.
pull up with us too, Laurent? Are you gonna be there or not?
Do you want to watch some real footy?
Jeez, listen, at this point, bro, if I pull up, I'm gonna have to bring a box of tissues, Kleenex, for the result that is
Bro,
going
it's
to
okay.
be
There's Kleenex and tissue there for you, so you can use that yourself. Do you watch
why
Arsenal?
would I need that?
Because you're
Real
gonna
Madrid
watch.
Arsenal. Why would I need that?
You know why? Because you're gonna watch beautiful
No, just
football and you're
stop.
gonna be crying,
Just
thinking,
stop.
"Oh my God, I wish Chelsea would play against competition
Just
like this."
just stop it, bro. Just know that I'm not the one that goes full on depression after my team loses. Wait, when was that? Like, was that 2 weeks ago?
No, I
Yeah,
went on
yeah,
full on depression. I went on
two
full
and a
on
half weeks ago,
depression
right?
because we lost our last chance at winning the Prem.
Ah,
Wait,
that's what that was. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that.
wait, wait, wait,
Yeah.
wait. Your
Is that
season,
not valid? He's a passionate fan. What's
yeah,
wrong with
your
that?
season was
Yeah, I
over
remember
in
that.
December. So when you had seasonal depression, you were just already numb to it. You didn't really care when you guys could have gone up to first place and you just choked against Everton. And then you guys just kept
Mm,
falling. The penalty merchant couldn't even do it anymore. And wait, did
mm,
he did he
bah,
just
bah.
randomly pull up with a muscular injury because he didn't want to face Gabriel and Saliba because he was gonna get crunched? Because he
Mm.
knew he's gonna face Thomas Partey and Declan Rice, yet he's gonna then his muscular injury is randomly gonna go away when he plays for England? Bro,
Honestly,
Mm.
bro,
man,
talk to me
just
nice, bro. Talk to me
talk
nice.
to me when you win a trophy, bro.
Talk to me nice.
That's when the both of you need to talk. Like when you start winning trophies, right? And you start adding to the cabinet, and we're not talking about like the history that is Arsenal, this and that. That's when you guys need to
Wait,
yeah.
why are we going
Till
backwards? Why are don't
till
you
then.
always say that we have to be present? We have to live in the moment. Why are we going backwards, bro? Talk to me nice. The
Well,
present
first of all,
is
that's
Chelsea
CJ.
got dismantled.
That's CJ. That's always saying that. And what I'm
Hmm.
saying is
Saying what?
valid. You know, the being in the present, right? The power of now, all of this, right?
Mm.
But what I'm saying is, y'all need to start winning shit before you can even start to talk. At this point, I swear I give
Wait,
Man U fans license over you guys in in pretty much like like in that department. Because
wait.
like
When's the
what?
last time Chelsea won a trophy?
Wait, you talk?
This guy does.
Hold on. What
Yo, I
trophy?
wish for those on Spotify, I wish they see your face right now.
Oh my
Which
God.
which trophy are we talking about?
Yo, do you want
Which
Laurent,
trophy are we talking about?
any trophy? Tell me the last trophy you guys want, because I'm about to destroy your argument real quick.
Okay, you want to talk major trophies?
Yeah, tell me when your last major trophy was. I'll wait.
Just say trophy in general. Yeah, we're not talking about the preseason cup.
No, I was gonna say we have a well, I think one of our bigger ones that we won. Our last one was the UCL for me. That
Bro, you don't even know your
2020.
fucking team, bro. The last trophy that you guys won was in 2019 when you guys won the Europa League. Oh wait, you say that for us to not talk when you win a trophy? The last trophy we won was in 2020 when we won the FA Cup. Talk to me nice. Talk to me when you win a trophy, bro. Talk to
yeah,
me
I'm
nice.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna fact check. I'm gonna fact check. I think they won the Champions League after the Europa League. I think that was like 2020 or 21. We
yeah.
have
What
we
the
have
fuck?
to
Yeah, with
confirm that.
Havertz. Actually, yeah, yeah. Like what am I saying? Yeah, with Havertz.
2021 they won the Super Cup.
Yeah, in order to win that,
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
won the
Oh,
yeah,
Champions League.
yeah, you'd have to win
either
the
way,
Champions
one year
League.
difference. 1 year difference, bro. You're acting like it's like 5, 6 years, bro.
Yeah, but no, but look at the caliber of the trophy is what I'm saying.
Oh, here we go. Now it's the caliber. First
Well,
it started with
you're
trophy.
listen.
First
You're
it
the one
started
that
with
keeps saying
trophy.
levels. There's levels to this, right? Right? Like
Yo,
that's
CJ,
so.
you see how the argument constantly changes? First it's, this, now it's caliber, now it's this, now it's that.
No, but for real though, win, win the Champions League, bro, and then you can come talk to me.
Ooh.
So I'm giving you guys till the end of the season, right, to get your act
Mm.
together against Madrid. Win that, right? Win the Champions League, and then maybe we can sit at the same table. Till
Laurent, your
then,
homework for the international break is to know when your teams actually won trophies last. Because this guy's here like, this guy doesn't even know when his teams are winning these trophies. I have to tell you when your team last won a trophy. This fucking guy.
He doesn't even know when his team plays next. I can tell you when Arsenal play next. And I don't even need to look at anything. Bro, come on, bro. You want to be a true fan? Come on.
Good bands, good bands. Little Bros of London. Little Bros of London.
Fuck
Just settle
you.
yourself.
London
uh,
is fucking red. London is forever red.
temporarily.
Hey, that's one of our last London derbies of the year, and we've won every single London derby. We haven't lost a London derby this year. So I don't know what you're talking about temporarily. Do you want me to define temporarily for you?
No, I'm saying temporarily. Just
Hmm. What, in 5 years' time when you guys move up? Come on, bro. There's levels to this, bro. There's levels to this. London is red. London is
it's
red
yo
for the rest of the year.
levels, but I don't see the levels. That's what I like. I don't understand, man.
You know why
It's
you
like
don't see the levels? Because you're
what
always looking
levels?
up. You're always looking up. The
Oh
only
my
level that you
gosh.
know is looking up.
What levels are you talking about?
The only level you know is looking up. That's all you know. That's why you can't
That's
see all the other
it's
levels.
crazy,
Don't worry, I'll
bro.
toss the ladder down so you can climb out of what, fifth, sixth spot and get up to our level.
Man. Starving. Y'all are starving, bro. Starving.
Oh fuck.
I mean, hey man, there's always next year, right? For the Premier League?
Next year FC baby.
hmm
We own it. We
That's
own it.
crazy.
We fucking own it. What's Chelsea? Just spend another billion to just get another coach in to try to come back and do the same thing? Mm. Mm.
Listen, all I can tell you, man, is that I don't know why you're laughing. It's funny because I actually don't know why you like. It's like I would understand if you guys were winning. You see what I'm saying? But it's like y'all are nearly men, and you're out here laughing like it's something to laugh about. Like your team's just not like they're not pulling through when it counts. So it's like, what's so funny? Like it's like
How are,
I
how
on
are you guys doing in
yeah, yeah, and
comparison
that
though? Are
no
you
no no,
guys
but that's the crazy part is that's the next point I was gonna bring, right? Is that
mm,
my team from the Abramovich era, stinking poor, stinking poor. But you don't see me out here, tooting my horn like this and that, or because I know, like, yo, this is a shitty situation. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be realistic. Like, I can't, like, what am I really gonna see? Like, I can't defend this.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
What?
Would your tune be completely different if Chelsea had won the game?
No, no,
CJ, let me fact check. You've known Laurent way longer than me. Would
no.
his tone have been different?
It would have been. It would have been. Sorry, I'm just saying. I'm gonna answer, and then CJ can answer after. It would have been different, like in terms of like banter. But if I'm being real, fuck no. Because what the fuck? Like it's a win, one win, and it means absolutely nothing in terms of like our overall success for the season, right? Like it means nothing. It's just, yeah, it's you got to win a leg up over, like, your rivals, and that's it. But if I look at it in greater context, no, I can't, like, because it's like we haven't achieved jack shit. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you guys definitely have to, pull out this W against Real Madrid, or else shit, we're all under the same fucking boat. So now it's pretty much, we're drowning and we're poking fun of each other, but it's like you guys are no better than we are.
I think that's the only thing that you said that I've agreed with you this entire pod.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, on that beautiful bombshell, we will see you guys on Friday for episode 10. Thank you for listening as always. Hit that like, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. We're here to just give you fucking good content. Thank you to my co-hosts as always. I don't even call them a co-host. They're my fucking boys. They're my brothers. And Laurent, just fucking talk to me nice, bro. Talk to me nice.
Yeah.
Adios, fellas.
Later. Peace, people.